Guys, what's up? Darcy here at Six Strings Nine Lives. Finally ready for my top 20 of 2021. A list I've been working on for the past, I'd say a couple weeks, just kind of getting things back in order. You know what? I did not pick up as many new releases in 2021 as I did in 2020. Probably 5 or 6 less. I felt it was an okay year in metal. I still think, my gut feeling is 2020 was a little better. That's your up to you. But I think 2022 is going to be pretty awesome. I made a little list here before we get rolling of just stuff I've heard about or even have release dates. Tell me what you're looking forward to in 2022. But what I got down so far, and let me know what else you've heard of. Saxon for sure, looking forward to that one. The new one from the Scorpions, I know these guys are getting along in age and stuff, but I'm definitely looking forward to that album. That first single wasn't bad at all. New one from actually 2 Canadian bands. First one would be for Voivod. That's got a February release date. And I heard Anvil is close to completion of their new album. Couple that I'm looking forward to from the German Big Four. For sure, Destruction, that one already has a release date and pre-order if you like to go out and get that one. And there is rumblings that are looking pretty good for a new Creator album here in 2022. New ones coming out from Hammerfall. New single out already by Blind Guardian, so all indications pointing to a new album there. And of course, we're anticipating, the long-awaited new Megadeth. And should be a new Overkill album this year. Looking forward to that. So anyways, in regards to this list, usually what I do is, a couple of years ago, I just did my top 10. And last year I thought, you know what, I'll do a top 20. I wouldn't take the positioning, to heart, for the bottom 10. But you get into my top 1 to 7. Those are my most spun albums of the year. Some were growers, I admit that, but you'll see where they end up. So this list will not include any live albums, EPs, compilation albums, no covers albums, or reissues. Actually, reissues wise, I still might do just my top 10 reissues of 2021. Let me know if you'd like to see that video. A couple notes here I wrote down. At least 6 of these bands that I'm going to show today these are their anywhere from their 14th to their 17th studio album. So you know what, we got a lot of history with some of these bands, and still cool to see that they're kicking. And I made a note here, lots I have not picked up yet. I have made a list here, so you always get that one guy in the comments near the end. It's if you say this stuff at the end, somebody will miss out and say, oh, you should have checked out this, you should have checked out that. You just can't get to everything, but here's a list of stuff I don't own. Some of it I plan on getting, some of it I don't. But here is my list so far of albums that I missed in 2021. Black Label Society, Rage, Artillery, LA Guns, all new ones, of course. Bloodbound, Powerwolf, The Dead Daisies. I heard that is a really good album that maybe I shouldn't have missed. New one from Whitechapel, Gojira, not a band I'm super familiar with. Black and Thrash band, Wraith, definitely think I should check that one out. Dream Theater, Mastodon, a band that I fell off a little bit on. I listened to their new album the other day. Not terrible for sure, but maybe I'll get back to that one. New one from Carcass. New one from Volbeat, just a band I know is out there, not a band I'm super into. Cradle of Filth, Obscura, Vulture, and a new one that I'd like to pick up from Jerry Cantrell. So that is my list of stuff that I haven't picked up. In today's video, I got a good variety. I don't know if I already said that, so let me know what I've missed, besides what I've already said on this list. I know there's tons of stuff out there, and that's what we're all here for. I do like to watch these lists to see if there's stuff that I've missed, but we better get rolling here. I'm going to show you a couple things that didn't make this list. We won't even give it a number, but Burning Witches, Witches of the North, I picked up in 2021. Not bad. Their other material's much better in my opinion. Collaboration album from Tracy Guns and Michael Sweet from Striper. This one is, the band is called Sunbomb. Evil or Divine, not bad at all. Couple albums that have not made this list, only for the reason that I haven't owned them long enough. These were gifts from a good friend of mine. This is Toledo Steel, Heading for the Fire. This is really good. Just new wave of traditional heavy metal. You know, got a good older sound to it. So definitely check out some Toledo Steel. And the new one from Seven Sisters called Shadow of the Falling Star Part 1. Just have not had enough spins of this under my belt. Love that artwork though. I got 2 honorable mentions, and then we'll get into the top 20. First one is, I believe, the second solo album from Riot 5, Riot V singer Todd Michael Hall. I do not have his first solo album, and I actually never heard it, but this is Sonic Healing by Todd Michael Hall. Actually, I have it on vinyl. I picked it up on vinyl. I'll just show you that. I got a mixture of CDs and vinyl here. So this is just a good, solid throwback hard rock album. You know, in the vein of, you know, Boston, Foreigner, you know, and I don't mind it. I'm not really, you know, big on those, you know, type of bands myself. You know, I do love a little bit of it now and then, but this is really good. And you know Todd from Riot 5, current lead singer. Did this album in collaboration with Kurt Vanderhoof from Metal Church. Kurt did the production, he did the guitars, he did all the bass. I don't even know, he might even did the drums, I'm not quite sure, but check that one out. Todd Michael Hall. That one came out on Rat Pack Records. And another one I just have not, this one could rank higher in the future, I don't know. Little bit of death metal from a band that I only know their first release, which is a classic from 1991 called From Beyond, but this is the new one from Massacre called Resurgence. Cam Lee, the only original member on here. I just honestly have not had enough time to digest this one yet. So like I said, could it rank higher? It sure could. You know, there's always going to be, you know, those commenters or, you know, people saying, well, that should have been way higher. Yeah, I understand that, but you know, like it's kind of my list, and I was really trying to make myself, you know, just think, you got to make this list for yourself, not what you think people want, and that's what I did. This is my list for me. So let's get into the top 20 and see if you can guess along. If you're you know, a watcher, an avid watcher of my videos, you probably be able to guess a few. But my number one, I debated on it for right up until honestly this morning, but you'll see where we go with that. So bear with me, we'll get there. But coming in at number 20, the 5th overall studio album from UK thrashers, Evile, called Hell Unleashed. This is their Napalm Records debut, 5th album, first to feature Ol Drake on vocals. Not bad. I initially, when the first song came out, Hell Unleashed, I thought, you know, I am just not liking these vocals, but maybe a bad choice for the first single, I don't know, but the music on here is excellent and the vocals do grow on you. Some highlights for me on this are for sure The Thing 1982, awesome song. War of Attrition, Paralyzed, yeah, definitely a decent album from Evile, their 5th studio album. And first in what, probably 8 years since you know, brother Matt left the band. I still am a little more fond of Matt's vocals, but you know what, few more listens, that one will, you know, it kind of grows on you too. Coming in at number 19, the 11th overall studio album and first in 10 years by Germany's own Victory. You know Herman Frank from bands like Accept, his solo material, which we'll give you a hint, it's going to be on this list too. What other bands? He's been, I think, on one Sinner album, another band called Moondog. But anyways, this is Victory's 11th studio album. Like I said, first in 10 years, Gods of Tomorrow, released on AFM Records. Yeah, just this one is, I said in one of my updates, it's not really a metal album per se. It's more of a hard rocker with some, let's say 15% metal, maybe 20, whatever. But check out the songs: Love and Hate, Gods of Tomorrow, Cut to the Bone. One of my favorite two songs, On Fire and Rising Force. 14 tracks. It goes by pretty quick. It's not a super long album, but there is my number 19 of the year. Number 18 is the fifth, and I didn't even realize this. I honestly thought it was the third, but this is the fifth solo album from Twisted Sister's own Dee Snider. This one is called Leave a Scar. This is the follow-up to For the Love of Metal from 2018, which was a solid album. But I think Dee got a little more involved on the, the lyrics and just the whole making of this album. And I personally like this album better than To the Metal. Not that it's bad or anything, but you still got some cheese in here. There's going to be some cheese in this whole video. It doesn't matter. It's just, I do like a little cheese with my metal, but lyric-wise, Dee's got a few, hey motherfucker in there. It's, Dee, sorry, but, But regardless, songs to check out and my favorite tracks on here. And there is some heavy stuff on here. Check out Before I Go. My favorite track on here is called In for the Kill. Track 11, The Reckoning, absolutely just pure, almost speed metal throughout. But yeah, there is my number 18, Dee Snider, Leave a Scar. Number 17, a band that I just discovered, this year. This is their fourth studio album. And it really hooked me because I am into bands like Judas Priest and Primal Fear. I really enjoy Primal Fear. Not bands that are they're just consistent. Sorry, I'm not talking about Priest because that's a whole nother level. But, Primal Fear, bands like that, or some other bands I'll show too, just consistency throughout. You know what you're getting, and I think that's going to be the case with this, my number 17. Fourth album from Manimal called Armageddon. What hooked me on this album, and thank you for the recommendations in the comments section, I appreciate it. Check out the track Burn in Hell. The leadoff track is just Priest, Painkiller era worship. It's this guy's got a great voice. Forged in Metal, Chains of Fury, just that raise your fist metal, which I do enjoy a lot. But yeah, number 17 is Manimal, Armageddon. Number 16 is my second album from this band. And this is their fifth overall studio album, released here in, of course, these are all 2021 releases. This is Portrait, At One with None, coming in at number 16. Definitely a band that an album that could move up over time. I really enjoy this album. They just have I'm going to say it, new wave of traditional heavy metal sound, but with, with a tweak, let's say. Definitely check out some Portrait. I really enjoy their last album from 2017 called Burn the World. And in my opinion, it was a bit heavier than this one. This one is a little more, for lack of a better word, we'll say laid back words, Portrait, At One with None. Check out a couple. There's a lot of great tracks on here. Lead off track, At One with None, very good. Ashen, great song. A Murder of Crows. What is this? About 8 songs and, under an hour type of album, obviously under an hour. I kind of like these albums that are in the, 38-minute range. They go by fast and they're really good. But yes, coming in at number 16 is Portrait. Coming in at number 15. You know what? An album I just thought I'm going to pick it up, and I think I said it in that update. I'm really just picking this up for one of the names on the album, and you know what? Turns out that I was pretty impressed with the whole thing. More of a laid-back album, but coming in at number 15 for me is the collaboration album between Adrian Smith and Richie Kotzen. You know these guys. I don't have to explain who they are, but yeah, this is a really solid blues-infused hard rock album, let's say. And yeah, very refreshing. I do put this on from time to time just to kick back, take a break from the heavy stuff. But check out the track Taking My Chances. I love that song. Scars, great tune. But my favorite song on here is called Solar Fire, a real cool rocker. So that is number 15 from Smith and Kotzen. Hey, I wouldn't even mind if they did another one together. Coming in at number 14, a band I've kind of been following right from the get-go. This is I got to stop saying this is the new one. This is my number 14. This is Haunt, Beautiful Distraction. This is you kind of know what to, you're going to know what to expect from Haunt. This is just, really enjoy what Trevor William Church does. Just solid metal, new wave of traditional heavy metal. A little bit of an older sound, if I'm explaining, if that makes any sense to you. But so this album consists of actually 6 new tracks, 2 that were on Split. I actually pulled those out too. These 2 songs were on, 2 of these songs, A Fool's Paradise was on a split with the band Fortress, I don't know, a couple years ago. And we had another song that's on this album called Sea of Dreams on a split with Seven Sisters. I think those came out a couple years ago. So those 2 songs are on this album, which is cool to have them on a studio album. And a couple songs that they remade, I'm not really sure why, but Hearts on Fire and In My Hands, maybe just to re-recorded them, because I know Trevor is now on his own label, Church Recordings, so I think he has re-recorded some stuff, and to be able to put it on to his own label instead of the stuff from on Shadow Kingdom. But coming in at number 14 is Haunt's Beautiful Distraction. Yeah, just solid throughout the whole album, the whole track. All 10 tracks are just a good solid hard rock / just metal. Let's just call it metal. Coming in at number 13, a band, an artist that I picked up a bunch of, I picked up about the first 4 albums from this artist this year. Glad I did, and this is the album that kind of sparked me to pick those up, because I had them on cassette back in the day, and I was like, why did I ever get rid of these? They're too good. But this is Michael Schenker, Immortal. So this is, Michael Schenker's got lots going on. He's got the Resurrection, he's got the Macaulay, he's got this. But I believe this is the 11th studio album under this just Michael Schenker group. This is just a great album with assorted. We got Ralph Sheepers on here, Michael Voss on vocals, Ronnie Romero, if you remember from last year, he was on the new Adrian Vandenberg's album. He's a great singer too. There's a cool tune on here called In Search of the Peace of Mind with Ronnie, Gary Barden, Doogie White, and Robin McCauley on here. I think, for me, I really like the Ralph Sheeper stuff, but Ronnie Romero's a good vocalist too. Joe Lynn Turner's on here. Yeah, if you like Schenker, and of course, Michael Schenker's on here, that's what you're might be probably here for. There's enough of the black and white guitar on here to please everybody, but there is my number 13, Michael Schenker, Immortal. Coming in at number 12, definitely a newer band to me. I heard of them a few months ago, never really paid a lot of attention to them, but this is Bewitcher, Curse of Thy Kingdom. This one just grabbed me. This is, actually there's a little thing in here. Let me just read it to you. Face the Satanic Magic Attack, Bewitcher returns with an album of unholy anthems. So Black and Speed. The vocals on this one, and I actually went back one more album. What's it called? Under the Witching Cross. But the vocals on this, if you listen to this, maybe I'm wrong, but in my opinion, this would sound like Paul Di'Anno really trying too hard. Maybe Paul Di'Anno with not feeling well in the throat area. That's what this guy sounds like on this album. But the previous one, not as much. But yeah, check this one out. Check out some favorite tracks. Death Returns, Satanic Magic Attack, Electric Phantoms. There's a breakdown in the middle of that, which is just, there's lots of Priest moments on here too, believe it or not. The intro is very cool for this album. Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking out maybe some more from Bewitcher or any future albums they come out with. This one just grabbed me right away. Might even move up the ladder, who knows, but yeah, Cursed by Thy Kingdom by Bewitcher, number 12. Number 11, talked about this one earlier. This one is the 5th studio album by Herman Frank called Two for a Lie. And what I really like about this album is he trimmed it down, 10 songs. I can absorb it really easily. What's happened on his past couple probably two before this, his 3rd and 4th album, 14, 15 songs, it just gets to where you just lose your concentration. I don't know if that happens to you guys, but 10 songs, 40 minutes or less, perfect. But Accept guitarist, that's where I know him from the most, but he's underrated. He definitely did probably the right thing leaving Accept so he could go do his own thing. I mean, when you're playing behind Wolf Hoffman, you know how it goes. Check out the tracks. Teutonic Order, Venom was awesome. Eye of the Storm. What was my favorite track? Just a Second to Lose and Stand Up and Fight. Danger. Yeah, solid 10 tracks from Herman Frank. Coming in at number 11. Coming in at number 10, here's an album that I haven't even shown in an update, and an album that I am seeing mixed reviews on. I totally get it where you are with it, or where you think it's the best thing, or it's awesome, or it's the typical. But been waiting for this one for a long time. Been waiting since 2014 for the brand new Exodus, but I have this one coming in at number 10. And by the way, this is my album cover of the year, hands down. Love it. That and another one I will show you are my 2 covers of the year. Now, the music on here, for the most part, I mean, I am a big fan of Gary Holt. There is some excellent stuff on here. And one of the very best song on this album that I really enjoy and wish more of the songs were like this is The Years of Death and Dying. The chorus on it is awesome. There's this little guitar noodling in the background while Zetro's singing. But there's a couple things on here that do bother me. Well, one thing is personally, I think Zetro is trying way too hard on a few of these tracks. Some of the lyrics from Gary Holt aren't as, they could be better. Let's put it that way. But on the leadoff track, Persona Non Grata, the guitar riff is awesome. But, Zetro, it's almost where, for me personally, he's getting on my nerves. He's just, and I hate to say that, but it's the truth. He's trying too hard on some songs. And there's probably a good 4 that sound like that. Lunatic Liar, Fires of Division and Lunatic Liar Lord. He could dial it back a lot on those songs, but some highlights for me for sure, because there is highlights. It wouldn't be at number 10 if I didn't like it. But even the first single, The Beatings Will Continue Until Morale Improves, that was a great speedy track, just a little over 3 minutes. what else? Prescribing Horror and Slipping into Madness, not bad at all. Finishes up with a song called Anti-Seed, which is, I like the opening riff. It's a little laid back, but coming in at number 10, Persona Non Grata from Exodus. Coming in at number 9. Now, this band has been on 2 years in a row. Last year, UDO did a collaboration with, the Navy Orchestra, or type of symphony type of stuff. But this year, back with their 17th studio album. This is UDO's Game Over, and this is what I alluded to a little bit on the Herman Frank album. Trimmed her back to 10 songs. There are 16 tracks on here. The more UDO and the more I get to hear one of my all-time favorite guys, Udo Dirksnyder, on vocals, turning 70 years old here in early this year, pretty soon, the better. But this is a handful to listen to. It's basically about an hour, a little over an hour long. I think an hour and 6 or 9 minutes. Definitely could have trimmed it back a bit, but a few highlights for me. There's a lot of great tracks on it. And the first single is pure raise your fist cheese lyrics. I love it. It's called Metal Never Dies, and I hope it never does. Maybe it's died for some of you already, but it hasn't for me, and probably never will. And I say that honestly. Prophecy, real kind of throwback. You're always going to hear people say, "Oh boy, that sounds like Old Accept," or this. There is a couple songs like that, but most of this just sounds like UDO. 17 studio albums. You got bits and pieces from every album in here, but definitely check out Prophecy. Like I said, Metal Never Dies. Kids and Guns kind of got an AC/DC vibe to it. What else? What was that other one Like a Beast, Speed Seeker, Time Control. Definitely could have cut out 4 of these tracks and it would have been just as good and a little more easy to digest. But coming in at number 17, 17th studio album, coming in at number 9. Little fact too, this is only the second time that Accept and UDO have had an album come out in the same year since 1989. 1989 was the Eat the Heat with David Reese on vocals. And in North America anyways, Mean Machine was released in North America in January of 1989. So this is only the second year that we're going to see an album from, so far anyways, from UDO and Accept. Let's keep it going here. Coming in at number 8, a nice surprise. I thought this is a great album. I spun it 2 times on it. This is awesome. This is, and like I alluded to early in the video, a lot of bands. 17 studio album from Running Wild, Blood on Blood. I better move it along a little bit here, but anyways, great favorite tracks. Say Your Prayers is my number 1 song on this album. The Shellback, awesome song. Crossing the Blades, Diamonds and Pearls. Don't worry about the pirate stuff, just worry about the metal, because this one is worth checking out. Number 8, Running Wild. Coming in at number 7. You know what? Initially, when I listened to this album, and a lot of people, is this like, this is okay, or this is too long, this is whatever. But you know what? It grew on me, and there are some killer songs on this album. And hey, it's Maiden. Coming in at number 7, Iron Maiden, Senjutsu. You guys all know this album. No shocker here with, I don't know about placement, but this one's place it where you want to place it. But this is definitely a solid album. Is it too long? You know what? It's actually only 5 minutes longer than The Final Frontier. Believe it or not, this is 82 minutes. Final Frontier, 77 minutes. It's shorter than The Book of Souls. Yeah, sure, they could cut some of those intros down, but hey, they pretty much, I guess, earned the right to do what they want. But, initially the song, The Writing on the Wall, I was just like, wow, this is kind of, off the beaten path, but it grew on me and I love it. I actually love that song. A few other highlights on this album for me. Well, for sure, Hell on Earth. That's a great song. I even love The Death of the Celts. That's kind of like reminiscent of, what's that? I'm going to draw a blank on that one. But The Klansman, kind of got that build-up intro. I mean, there's lots of build-up intros on here, but Days of Future Past, good tune. Darkest Hour, you all know this album, so I won't have to talk too much about it. But my number 7, Iron Maiden, Senjutsu. Number 6, and I thought right away, I'm going to keep these two close together because I felt initially kind of the same. It's okay, but it grew on me too, and I am talking about the new one from Helloween. Coming in at number 6, self-titled. Of course, we all know the story, the Pumpkins United. I mean, this is like probably the first album that Kai's been on in, 33 years or so, and Michael, like about 28 years, besides maybe I don't even know if there was ever a minor guest appearance on any of their albums. I don't think so, but yeah, this one really grew on me. I was expecting, I don't know what I was initially expecting, to be honest with you. I'm a big Kai Hansen fan, so I wanted him to sing more, but even in Gamma Ray, they actually have an actual singer for the band now. It's something Kai wanted to get away from, but he still does his, his harmonies, stuff like that with Gamma Ray, and all his songs that he, sang in the early parts of Gamma Ray. But anyways, on here, there's enough Kai on the backing vocals. There's some lead work on the song, lead vocal work on the song Skyfall, which is a phenomenal song. So don't need to talk much about this, but there's definitely a few highlights for me. I do, as corny as some of the lyrics are on Mass Pollution, I love it. Indestructible, great song. I already mentioned Skyfall, love it. And the first 2 tracks are awesome. Out for the Glory and Fear of the Fallen. Great work by everybody. Andy Darris is on here plenty. Michael, everybody sounds great. Pumpkins are united. Hope they continue with that. That would be great. So that was my number 6. Number 5. Let's get to number 5 here. And this is a newer, like my last year's list, there was a couple death metal bands on there. I think, what did I have on there? Vader and Benediction. This year, this one, it actually doesn't surprise me. It came in this high. And a lot of this I judge on that I've spun them the most. And this one I definitely spun a lot. This is the, I think, 10th overall studio album from Asphyx called Necrosaurus. Maybe a surprise to some people that watch my channel that this is this high, but this is just a bone crusher. The lead-off singles that caught my attention were Knights Templar Stand, The Nameless Elite, awesome track. One of my overall favorite tracks on here is called Yield or Die. There's a little, if you listen to the track The Years of Famine, the opening riff it's a pure ripoff of Skull Crusher from Overkill. You will know, as soon as you hear it, you'll be like, well, yeah, that is. But yeah, great album from Asphyx, and easily could have been on some of the best cover artwork. There, I got that out for 2021. This would definitely be in my top 5 for artwork. But yeah, just some Dutch death metal that I've been getting into and really enjoy Martin Van Druenen's vocals. Moving along, number 4, one of the first albums that came out in 2021. And a band that I've been following for years. This is the 16th studio album from Germany's Accept, which I actually have the vinyl version here. So this is Too Mean to Die. This is, I don't know, it's just it's a great album throughout. There's some real highlights on here. Zombie Apocalypse, The Undertaker. As corny as some of the lyrics are in Overnight Sensation, it is very metal hardish, if that's a good comparison. But Overnight Sensation, very catchy song. Symphony of Pain. There's lots of classical elements in here. I mean, you have Wolf Hoffman. It's you're going to get some good stuff. What else? How Do We Sleep? That's great. This one wraps up with an instrumental called Samson and Delilah. But this is my number 4 for 2021, Except Too Mean to Die. So my top 3, they kind of, as they came out, they fluctuated. So, but here is my number 3 for the year. Yeah, it's still sad that this guy's not back in Judas Priest, but he came out with a heck of an album. This is KK's Priest, Sermons of the Sinner. Again, one of my artworks of the year, but this is phenomenal. I just love this album. And yeah, give me the cheese. I don't give a shit. There's great tracks. Favorite tracks, Hellfire Thunderbolt, Sermon of the Sinner. I think those were the first 2. Metal Through and Through, Hail for the Priest, Return of the Sentinel. Ripper Owens on vocals, KK Downing, you know, just glad to have him back. And I just hope he pumps out a few more albums like this. You know, to be tearing it up at 70 years old like that, yeah, I am okay with that. You know, I will say it's no Firepower. I will still put Firepower over this all day long, but great album. Definitely check out Sermons of the Sinner from KK's Priest. That is my number 3. And my number 2 is the 14th studio album from Phoenix Thrashers, Flotsam and Jetsam. This is Blood in the Water. Yeah, these guys are on a roll. This is their 3rd release here on AFM Records. They're the best of the 3 so far, in my opinion. This has got such a variety. You really got to sit back and listen to this. It's not just, a lot of people just say this is the same throughout. It's not. It really isn't. And you need to check it out a little more thorough. But yeah, even the lead-off singles weren't even the best tracks, in my opinion. My favorite tracks on here are The Wicked Hour, so good. Too Many Lives, Regression, Undone, just solid throughout. That is Flotsam and Jetsam, Blood in the Water. What did I say? 14th overall studio album. These guys have been around a long time. One of my favorite metal vocalists, Eric A.K., with a great performance. Leaving one more, then we'll wrap up this video. If you watch this channel, you probably know what's coming. To me, this one hung on to first place all year. It was, this year there was a couple surprises. I was surprised that Ace Fix album ranked high with me. And this one, there wasn't many from out of nowhere albums, but this is one of them. My number 1 for 2021 is Todd La Torre, Rejoice in the Suffering. This is just a slab of metal, start to finish. Yeah, very happy that I picked, or very happy to have this. I highly recommend this one. This is not, Todd is the current lead vocalist of Queensryche. The last 3 Queensryche albums are good, but this just blows it out of the water, in my opinion. Not a weak track on here. There is some bonus tracks. I just kind of, I put those to the side when I'm listening to this album. I listen to the 10 tracks that are the album. And when I say there's no weak track, there isn't. But some highlights for me, Dogmata, Pretenders, Darkened Majesty, killer song. One of my absolute favorite tracks on here is called Vanguards of the Dawn Wall. But yeah, coming in at number 1, Todd La Torre's Rejoice in the Suffering. Check it out. And that is my top 20 of 2021. Sorry that it went on a little longer than expected, but yeah, that's the way it goes. But definitely looking forward to some, new releases here in 2022. Always appreciate you guys watching, stopping by. And yeah, let me know in the comments some of your favorites. And until next time, stay heavy.